and he was in as much responsible for the quick and well-managed game that we saw as well, because it didn't become turgid. He didn't start making up the make-up calls. He didn't need to do the make-up calls that you were worried that we might start seeing, because there were no controversial decisions.
I did call
a well-managed game.
After Wigan went 2-0 up after 2 penalties in that set, I did call that there would be a Warrington penalty in the next set. There was, but it was a blatant offside.
Right, well, there you go then.
Obviously, one of the...
But from your point of view, thank God there was as well.
Yeah, so overall, I think he had a decent game. I think the whole match official piece picked up for each other where there was maybe some fall downs.
Yeah.
There would be decisions that would go one way or the other, and we'll cover them as we go off, but nothing so dramatically bad on the officials' part.
Yes, exactly.
So at the start of the game, I mean, Wigan made a fast start, but they were only able to get that penalty, really, weren't they?
Which worried me, to be honest.
Well, what worried me more is just after that, when Wigan continued that momentum still, after they took the 2 points. There was the foul break from the great interplay with Williams, the kind of old Melbourne big three play, almost, where he slipped Faz inside and he made the break, and then I think it might have been Evans. Someone defended really well, got in the way of the pass wide, so Farrell couldn't throw the ball to the left. He took the tackle, the ball ended up... After, I think it was a Sam Powell offload in the middle of it. No, Farrell offloaded it to Sam Powell, then got tackled. But the ball got spread right out to the right hand side, and Anthony Gelling threw the most forward pass I've seen in the grand final. And I thought wasted chance.
Yeah.
And that sort of summed up that period where Wigan just didn't take advantage of the opportunities they had. That being the most glaring one. And then we started making loads of mistakes in our own half, didn't we?
Yes.
The first half was littered with Wigan mistakes. One of the things
I don't think either side was particularly clean in terms of errors. There were a few,
but Wigan's handling errors were in their own half on exit sets.
Yeah.
There was more than a few. There was a Nuasala one,
a Tau right at the start of the game.
Well, that was Nuasala's ball to Bateman. Sorry, and then there was a Tau one. There was the ones from the kicks. Sargent and Charlie both did one in the first half. But the one that led to, so. Wigan kept making these errors, and I think it was off the Sargentson knock on from the kick that the first big chance for Warrington came, didn't it? The Ryan Atkins chance, where a great offload by Toby King. This wasn't about, I think, 18-19 minutes, wasn't it? Toby King flicked the late ball just as he was going to the ground. Atkins couldn't pick it up.
Yeah, that's right.
And
he'd have been in if he'd kept on.
Yeah, but then Wigan's next set, I think, was the set where they was trying to get through quick hands to the left this time in their own half, and Gildart passed it out of touch. It was forward too, so it was a big error, and that gave them position. So Warrington finally did take advantage of Wigan's errors in their own half in that first half. It was in the 21st minute. Declan Patton took advantage. It was sharp work by Darryl Clark. He was trying his best to break the Wigan line, Darryl Clark. He ran a lot, and he ran well when he ran, and he made meters every time, but he didn't make any breaks in the game, which was pretty crucial, I felt.
Yeah.
But this was as important as a break. He had markers going the wrong way. He had defenders not being able to keep up with him, and then he put back Dec Patton into a position where he just read the moment, didn't he, perfectly. You've been talking quite a lot about Dec Patton before we got going, about how good you think he is, and this was an example of that.
Yeah, absolutely. He's got every opportunity, and he's got all the talent in the world. He's obviously not played a lot this year, but in the period of time that he's come in for during the Super 8s, he's deservedly, whilst there's been an injured Chrissy Sandow, he certainly deserved his place in this grand final side. Seems like he reads the game well. Those quick flashes and that dummy that he threw, they even alluded to it on commentary. It's not often that John Bateman gets bamboozled by things like that. That little dummy, that little pass, that little bit of awareness to get over, and that ability to reach out and find the line is a confidence trait, and it's not built on 2 or 3 seasons of learning his trade in Super League. It's built on raw ability, which leads me to think, and he can kick a goal, so good luck to the kid.
It was Smith who took the dummy, but Bateman was too far inside already, wasn't he? Whereas Smith would usually expect probably Bateman to be there anyway, so if he takes the dummy, it doesn't always cost a try. But Bateman and Sargentson in cover were both a bit late, and Patton did brilliantly. 6-2 at that point, 21 minutes played. Then it continued a bit, didn't it, for the next 5 minutes or so, and there was the Jack Hughes missed chance as well when he dropped the ball as he was trying to ground it over the line. There was a great tackle that came in on his backside from Gelling, was the main driver in it, sort of hit his arm really hard as he was starting to reach out, and that's why the ball spilled out, and Wigan got the ball back there, and almost straight away Wigan then started forcing Warrington into it, didn't they? There was the Westerman mistake, but Wigan wasted the chances again. It was first half was both teams wasting chances. This is where George Williams put the kick through on the first play. The only chaser possible in the area was Tali Matautai, a prop forward who scored one try all year.
Yeah.
This was George being a bit...
I don't necessarily hold it against him though, because this was always going to be, and the feeling I had from this game was it was always going to be tight and there wasn't going to be a lot in it. And I guess George Williams knows that. And maybe he thinks to himself, what can I do in the position? Because you were inside, you were right on their line. Let's do something unexpected. Let's take a chance. At very worst, we're giving up a 20-metre restart. Let's try and put somebody in. Maybe he could have thought it through better. Maybe he could have lifted his head up a little bit more, and with a bit more experience, he'll learn to do that. But I don't hold it against him. And ultimately, it didn't cost you anything. But even at the time I was watching it, I'm thinking, well,
oh no, I was very frustrated.
I'm glad I wasn't stood next to you, because I could almost imagine how much my ears would have been ringing had I been there with you.
The bloke sat in front of us was even more apoplectic.
But I don't blame it. I don't mind that. Have a chance your arm a little bit. It's a 20-metre restart. If you, as a percentage play, I don't really hold it against him, apart from maybe just a touch of decision making.
It was the first play after.
But it caught Warrington's line out.
Dan Sargentson did a great job to nearly break through just before that on the zero tackle free play. But yeah, no, it didn't catch him out. Ratchford was in more position to cover it than Tautai was ever to get to it if the kick wasn't too strong. It was poor play, but George will learn from that. And he certainly had some great touches.
Am I sticking up for George Williams and you're not here?
The next thing we haven't talked about the pre-game storyline really of the two risky players, so we'll get to the introduction of the first of the two risky calls of the injured players, and it was Sean O'Loughlin, and the first thing he did was give away a penalty for lying on, and me and Liam were like, what is he up to?
He got it out of his system.
It sort of summed up his season almost, but he did, because when he started carrying the ball, boy did he carry the ball in this game. He made 80 odd metres, which isn't a lot, but is a lot for Sean O'Loughlin, and a lot of metres in contact already, and not I think he did really, really well, and obviously played through the muscle issues to be in the game, but this is what he does, isn't it?
But he knows he's got to come on and put in big metres and make metres after contact, because that Warrington pack is massive, and that's credit to him. He's come on, and he doesn't need to be the ball handling loose forward, because you've got plenty of ball handlers knocking around in the pivots, so he comes in and does a good job for you.
The next big moment was one of the tension breakers of the game almost. By the time the whole picture of what had gone on came to light. I'm talking about the 30th minute where Atkins stole the ball. I think from Williams it might have been actually, or Sargentson.
Sargentson.
But the whistle had gone from being offside. When you watch the TV footage back, the whistle's quite clear, but at the ground I didn't have a clue there was a whistle.
No.
Charlie, to his credit, caught him.
Yeah.
The play was stopped. Warrington didn't score from that breakaway, which was remarkable, but it didn't really mean anything. So that tackle back from Charlie,
the whole lot of them. There was 2 or 3 play the balls, wasn't there? I watched it on TV going, well, what's happening? You could see them all playing on. So credit to the lads to play to the whistle.
Well, there was one. I think one play of the ball before people started to realise.
Looking around, going, hang on.
Where's the referee here? Because that guy was offside then.
Yeah, exactly.
But that won't get as much footage as the Charlie tackle back on Jamie Shaw in the Challenge Cup final in 2013 got, but it's certainly, because it didn't come to anything real at the end, but it was certainly a strong effort from Josh Charlie there. It was brilliant. So I think that was kind of the first half for me.
16 on at half time. I didn't think Warrington had done enough with the chances that they'd had through one reason or another. Not necessarily.
Well, both teams have wasted chances, but Wigan conceded more possession in their own half.
Warrington territorially had been in better position for longer, I felt, and I thought that 6-2, you guys were always going to have that 10 to 20 minute period where you would score a try to 3 tries or something in there, where it would click for you, and where you would maybe go to plan B a bit more.
The offloading game.
The
start of the second half,
which is why I think Warrington probably could have done with something a bit of luck, a bit of something going their way on a couple of the things that they got pulled back for. Only insofar as they needed that bit of luck, and if they'd executed that, they would have been further ahead. Not that they were partially done to.
Yeah, okay. Thanks for clarifying. Yeah, the first big thing then of the second half was Wigan actually created a game good interplay, a ball out wide, then a ball back inside. Sargentson was the one who broke free, but a great tackle by
Rhys
Evans, wasn't it, to stop him short, and then Sargentson didn't realise that he'd been grounded and threw a pass which gave away a penalty. That wasted another chance. That was on the second or third play in the set that Wigan had made great meters, great ground, made a break in, and then it's thrown away by giving a penalty away. So that's another wasted chance by one of the two sides, frustratingly. The next thing we're going to talk about is the other substitution of the risky player coming on, so Chrissy Sandow. I think he sort of came on through being forced to, because
had Clark taken a knock at that point?
He took a head knock and didn't go off.
Yeah.
And then
it was obviously
maybe there was some lingering, I don't know, tiredness after that and stuff, but he went off for that. He went off then, didn't he? And Sandow came on, they moved things around a bit, not necessarily suiting deck pattern.
It didn't suit anybody. I think it removed some of the fluency from what Warrington were able to mount in attack.
But they still,
yeah. But I think to be honest with you,
well, they still forced an error straight away, didn't they, with Sandow's first kick?
The Sandow inclusion for me, though, as much as as an individual, he's a good player, and as much as he's brought to Warrington this year, do you not think that actually the person that misses out and would have perhaps had more of a say in this is Brad Dwyer?
Because I think Brad Dwyer was injured.
Was he injured?
I think so. I don't even remember seeing him in the 19. He hasn't played for a couple of weeks. I think he was injured. He was suited up after the game. He wasn't.
Oh, I'll take it all back then.
So I think
limited options. But I still feel like it threw them out of whack a little bit, bringing Chris Sandow in.
But like I say, the first thing he did was put that big floaty bomb up. That was really hard to take. Charlie didn't quite knock it on, but Gelling finished the job for him. I was going to say,
Charlie did everything but knock it on, didn't he?
Yeah, Gelling finished the job for him, and then so that was another period of a couple of minutes or a minute or so where Warrington had a couple of sets on Wigan, putting us under a bit of pressure, and it led to Ryan Atkins trying to cheat a try. We've seen this before, haven't we? So he came up celebrating like it was a done deal. Obviously scored the try. I don't see any other player in Super League celebrate quite so vociferously. We've seen it before, Tom. We've had a conversation on this show about him cheating blatantly.
He's not the only one, and it's not cheating.
He tried to. Well, he managed to convince the referee on the field that it was a try, didn't he? The officials on the field. Luckily, the video ref.
He got caught.
Yeah.
But how do you count? You don't know what's going through Ryan Atkins' mind. No? He genuinely feels he got the ball down.
A lot of other players I would give benefit to the doubt to, because I've not seen them blatantly cheat on ones they know. That other one they had, I think it was against Cass or against Leeds earlier this season, where he knew full well and good that it was no chance of try, and he still got up celebrating, like proper celebrating, just like he did on this one. That's why I don't give it.
I can't immediately give you a list of players who have done that. I can tell you that players do that. That's not.
It wasn't just like he was claiming a try, though. He was celebrating like he definitely scored a try.
Well, maybe he felt he did.
No,
maybe he didn't know. Look at it at the speed of the sport.
He don't get the benefit
maybe he feels like, well, he certainly gets it.
Anyway,
he certainly gets it from me, and I'm not accusing him of cheating.
Fair enough.
Fair play. It was tremendous defence from Wigan that prevented it.
One of the few minor missteps, obviously, of the officials, but it was a tough one to spot for them live. The video replay, the angle from behind, made it
very obvious,
very clear.
Yeah.
Right, so I think that kind of sparked Wigan up a bit, knowing just how close we had come to probably losing the grand final at that point. I didn't see us overturning a 2-score deficit.
No.
Our attack was wasting chances. It was making them, but wasting them. So I didn't see us getting back a 2-score deficit for sure. But what we were doing, making way better meters in contact throughout the whole game, but particularly at this stage, we really started to make. There was people I point out: Crosby, Frank Paul Nuasala, Bateman. Them in particular were making great ground after contact and still getting fast play of the balls as well.
Yeah.
Was the great thing to see. I think O'Loughlin did it a few times as well. Flower did it a few times, but those three most particularly. Crosby was outstanding in this game, but Bateman's carry in the set that led to Gildort's try was a great example of Wigan making ground in contact and still getting a quick play of the ball. Basically, the play of the ball he made before the run FPN had, who had a very quick play of the ball. And that got another great bit of play between Williams and Farrell, wasn't it, to make the break. Farrell ran a great line, targeting Gidley. Wigan made Gidley make over 30 tackles in the game. Obviously,